So if unity is what you seek and unity is what you want, and you're tired of the bullshit from the government, because the psychological community, the medical community, the pharmaceutical community have all been able to do what they've done, totally unjust to all of us, financial community, there are many others, okay?
Hi, I'm Zara Green, and I've spent most of my life returning people back to themselves, to their wholeness, their natural design, who they were before the social conditioning and labels. You didn't come here blank canvas. I know that's what they told you, but they lied. I'm glad you're here. If you like what you hear, then subscribe, like, comment, and share. And hit that notification bell so you know when I drop new videos. All right, you ready? I am.
There are some industries where we have to ask, is it education or indoctrination? And I am saying that if it's anything that has to do with you, that you are surrendering over to somebody with a white coat on to tell you what is best for you, then you have to consider that it is probably indoctrination. Because there is nobody who is supposed to be or intended to be expert on you more than you. So when you look at your own life and you are troubled by any parts of it, mentally, emotionally, physically, and you have not tapped into your own source, but you are surrendering it to others, then you have already given over your power, rendered yourself powerless when you are all powerful when it comes to your life. We came here to be on our own individual journeys. And in order to do what we've got to do, what we came here for, trusting our own being. You came here with your own sensibilities, but you've been robbed of them because the people who were before you surrendered all of that to the supposed experts, when there is nobody who is supposed to be more expert on you than you. And so when I ask the question, is it education or indoctrination? Let's look at 3 particular industries. 3 that have come and through overtaking, reconstructing, making it credential-based, brainwashing, and outright greed have made you believe that they are more expert on you than you. The psychological industry, the medical industry, and the pharmaceutical industry. But make no mistake, they have not done it without the help of the government. I know for certain in the world of psychology, they totally sniffed out and invalidated the natural things that will guide you along your way if you only knew to look to them. I also know for certain the origin of psychology is no longer a part of the world of psychology as we know it. Do you not think that was intentional? That's the one that I know for certain about. And I'm telling you, unless and until you get to the origin of psychology, that totally taps you into who you are naturally. All of the ways that you naturally process information, natural ways that you feel things through, because we all have those natural thought processes and those natural emotions that follow. And mine is unique to me and yours is unique to you. But they came and mapped out something in the DSM, Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, saying that if out of these criterions that they chose that are just a flip side to something that is natural and a strength, then there is something wrong with you. Now, I understand why it is that people so readily accept the labels. And they knew exactly what they were doing when they set it up this way. Because by overtaking and reconstructing the industry, it was then not hard to brainwash you into believing that there's something wrong with you. And if there's something wrong with you and they have the way to fix it, then it feels good to then have somebody who has been indoctrinated into that validate for you The things that you have believed are wrong because you don't fit into their boxes. Well, where would you hear these things? Well, through another form of indoctrination, which is the educational system. But they are not educating, they're indoctrinating us all. And if we are ever going to get out of this, I believe the psychological piece is the first piece that we got to fix. You have to be returned back to your original state, because it is there where all of your pureness lives. So in all the ways that you've been indoctrinated, yes, through race even. Race in America has indoctrinated all of us through some social constructs that are not real. And until you are able to come to terms with those, unifying is not going to happen. You've not been able to unify with the people you say you love because you don't understand who you are at your core. And if you've got some babies, you've conditioned them through the same crap you've been conditioned through. Social constructs have ruined us all. We can get a hold of that. In the same ways you've been conditioned, you can be deconditioned and reprogrammed according to your core, according to who you are naturally, according to your design, not their desires. We've all been conditioned through their desires. That is why we have so much divide. So if we're going to unify, stop talking about, yeah, let's get together, y'all, because you're angry. I'm telling you that's not going to work. It's not going to work until you get to your core, and then you're coming from a pure place. Otherwise, Black folk are coming from the spaces of their conditioning, and we're not all monolithic. None of us. That's why we have to get to the specifics of each of us in how we've been conditioned, how we've been indoctrinated. And then we can see all of that when we're coming from our pure place. Then, like a surgeon with precision, you can go in and cut away the conditioning. And then the pureness of who you are can rise. Because I'm just going to say it. If you have been indoctrinated through whiteness, then you have covered so much of who you are and have lived based on that whiteness. Even when you didn't think you were, even when you didn't want to be, but until you deal with the constructed racism around it. I know you don't like that word, but whiteness is racism. Okay? And Black people, same thing. You've been indoctrinated into believing that you were lesser than somehow, or even if you didn't believe you were lesser than, because I never have bought into that bullshit that I was lesser than or inferior. I've always known that was a lie. And I certainly never believed that white people are any smarter than I am. That was always bullshit, and I knew it. But it didn't stop the systematic racism from affecting me. I still had to do the code switching and all the bullshit and couldn't be who I was. I was still looked over for different positions. I still had to bust my ass in creating contracts because I refused to work in corporate America and be treated poorly. So we all had some things to cut through, okay? So if unity is what you seek and unity is what you want, and you're tired of the bullshit from the government, because the psychological community, the medical community, the pharmaceutical community have all been able to do what they've done, totally unjust to all of us, financial community, there are many others, okay? If unity is really what you're after, then we're going to have to take a hard look at the things, the cornerstones of America that we have put up on these pedestals and look to for our benefit when they were only working to our demise. Because nobody's born with a mental disorder. Every medical condition there is can be cured by other means other than their surgical or medicine, the pharmaceutical industries. There's stuff that happens naturally that we never have to touch that. I don't. I'm a healthy chick. It is not my primary. It is not how I go first at all. If I end up with them, I'm still going back to my wellness practitioners so that we can work these things out naturally. But they invalidate everything that is not what they have constructed because they want everybody to just be their minions. And that is what people in white coats are. I said it. Everybody in white coats and have been indoctrinated in those ways will tell you that the natural things are not the way. They're lies. Get to the core of who you are, then go make whatever decisions you want to make. I'm not telling you that you don't feel broken. They've done what they've done in order to make that so. What I am telling you is that if unity is what you want and you want to get from under the government, because none of this would be possible without the government turning a blind eye, without the government being part of this crap. The government is protecting its own interests. I am just trying to get you to the core of who you are so you can make some decisions from your core and not be subjected to others who are claiming to be experts on you. Get to the core of who you are, then you can make whatever decisions you want. And unity is a natural byproduct of understanding who you are at your core. I don't hate white people. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. Here's the beauty in understanding yourself at your core. You will then also be able to see others at their core, because understanding the spectrum of individuality also shows you who everybody else is. So I have been able to not hate every white person throughout my 5+ decades on this earth because I understand temperaments. And when somebody is hateful, I know they don't know who they are at their core. They are trusting external things for their validation. I don't do that. So I don't hate anybody. I know that this is not about white people. What's happening right now, I mean, systematic racism only happens because there have been white people who have upheld it. But I am also clear, and it was through absolute ignorance. And I'm telling you, the way that we become equal right now and be able to do this unity thing is when all of us get to who we are at our core, because all of this is secondary. All of the external stuff is secondary. What's primary and the only thing that truly matters is who you are at your core. All right, that's all I have for you right now. It's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn, it can get better. From Colombia, I'm Zara. Bye for now.